Listen to me. It's the end of the year. A lot of us are transitioning, be it through different job, different titles, and even a different experience altogether. Who's to say you're not allowed to reinvent yourself? Who's to say you're not allowed to change your career? But what I would suggest you focus on is building what you would like to build without your identity being tied to your work. This video is for the girl who knows deep down inside that you have tied your identity to the work you do. I've been there, but believe me, it doesn't have to break you, but set you free. I'm not going to tell you to not attach your identity to your work and what you do, but I'm going to help you healthily transition through grace, peace, and faith. So you're in this position where you would like to transition, right? And you'd like to transition out of the routine you may have built. Think about your day to day. We have our own way of doing things. We go about waking up differently. And we are so set in a particular routine. Change can feel abrupt. It can feel like, whoa, what's going on? And it's in those moments when you don't want to distract yourself, especially in that phase, because it is all dependent on what you do next that will help you move forward. So instead of distracting yourself, get quiet, sit down, and actually reflect what has just happened. Maybe you have lost your job, maybe you have changed your title. All those things have brought you to that moment where you know deep down inside there's a voice that's telling you, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this video, that this is not the end, it's only the beginning. Personally, I got quiet. I sat down and I journaled. I spoke to God and I looked at my life and I said, okay, how's my life going to look going forward? What am I going to choose to adapt to? Who am I going to become? And most importantly, who am I going to be known for going forward? Because you're in control of the narrative going forward, just like you were in control of the narrative that passed. Stillness is where you start to separate yourself from that situation and remember that life will go on. This leads to forgiveness and detachment. You're more than able and you're more than competent. Remember, forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. I read in a book that if you were to hold a burning coal, that anger, that resentment, that hatred, which is unforgiveness, right, is only hurting you until you release it. And that includes forgiving yourself. You've made mistakes, it's fine. I've made mistakes too. But you know what? Your past failures and mistakes don't dictate your future unless you decide them to, unless you allow them to keep controlling how you move forward. The faster we forgive, the faster we heal, and the faster we move forward. If there's anything you take from this video, I would say the most important thing would be to forgive. Once you forgive, you're able to receive what is next. Imagine a closed fist. With this closed fist, look at your fingers. Look at them. It's like a little child, a baby, who grabs something. You know they have power and might from God knows where. Only God knows how much strength are in those tiny hands. But it's until you open your fist that you're able to receive. How many things in our lives have we had more of a closed approach to that we're not able to receive? It's subconscious work, but you know what? It's worth doing. This is the deeper level in which you go into maybe a meditative state, maybe you speak to God himself. That's what I do. Or maybe you just write down exactly what has happened and what you would like to happen going forward. Remember, it was about forgiveness and detachment. In order to receive what's next, please detach. You want to get angry, but it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Think of yourself as a princess. Think of yourself as a queen. Think of yourself as worthy, because that's what you are. You're blessed, loved, accepted, called, chosen, and worthy. When was the last time we reminded ourselves of our values? I'm going to read a definition of values. Values are the core beliefs and principles that are important to you and guide your life, decisions, and actions. They act as a personal compass, helping you determine what matters most, set priorities, and live in a way that aligns with your sense of self and purpose. A few examples of values would be generosity, loyalty, integrity, boldness, accountability, and fairness. When you remember your values, it will be like something in you just has a light bulb moment. The switch will go off and you'll think, hang on, That situation, that past chapter, it had to literally end because that no longer aligned with your values. It doesn't matter what you went through. Just think in the beginning how you started off in that role. What were your values then that somewhere down the line you forgot about them or you compromised on them? And then think of how you are right now in this present time and moment. Are your values still the same? Are you still the same person? Do you like who you've become? All of these questions are what I asked myself. And it's at that moment that I was also able to heal, because once you're able to come to your inner self, your inner child, and you look at yourself as if you look at a little version of you, young version of you would have that compassion and love. You would look at them and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I didn't step away from that toxic situation sooner than later, that I put you through that situation for X amount of months or years. And I can't even explain it because it's just such a lovely moment of love and of transparency that you have with yourself, something that's supposed to be intimate, but yet freeing. This is why I said in the beginning that it's supposed to set you free and not to break you, because it really is. It's a self-actualization moment, and that's what's magnetic about it. This is where it gets exciting. It's about creating a new structure, a new routine. Now you're going to build from faith and no longer from fear. You're going to build a routine around who you are becoming, not who you were. And this time, guess what? We're not consumed by people's approval. And when I say approval, I'm not talking about, for example, you have a business proposal and people actually approve you. No, I'm talking about validation. Oh, you're doing so well. Meanwhile, you know you're doing well. Oh my gosh, you're so good at this. Meanwhile, you know you're good at that. Oh my God, you look amazing. Yes, we know you look amazing. But this is what you need to tell yourself in a loving way. Give yourself the validation, lady. Give yourself the love that you would seek outside. And every time you do this, you're reprogramming your mind to be in a state of abundance. So that even if there are times when, and there will be times when they no longer validate you, it doesn't matter, because you're validating yourself and you validated yourself way before they could and have done so. Here are a few examples that I can give you based off my experience. On the days when I feel less creative, I ask God for ideas. I rest and I just take time to be in His presence. That's when I find that He would lead me to go outside and take a walk. On the days where I might feel less confident, I go to the gym or I take myself on a solo date. On the days when I don't feel excited, I feel like everything is moving too slow, I remembered how I started. When you start, you're not at the level which you are right now if you've put in work daily, if you've committed. This is why you have to commit to what you would like to do in the first place. Because most of the time, if you commit, you're bound to succeed. And that is a ripple effect to build your confidence, to build your creativity, and so it continues. And last but not least, gratitude. You've got to thank God or whoever you thank for what you would like before you've received it in this 3D reality. It is here, but you just can't see it. Thank whatever you would like to multiply. What is that scripture? Matthew 25 verse 29, it says, for to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. So it's the law of multiplication. Whatever you're thankful for, whatever you compliment, whatever you give words of affirmation to, it will multiply, it will grow. And whatever you criticize, whatever you condemn, whatever you speak badly about, it will be depleted, it will go. Think of it as in a personal capacity. If we keep criticizing a certain individual, they're going to grow to resent us, right? But if we keep speaking words of affirmation, genuinely complimenting them, because we don't do flattery here, they are going to appreciate us and want to even do more for you. And how amazing is that? Because most of the time, my messages here on G&D is to be kind, because you are going to face so many people in life and they'll remember you for either your kindness or your rudeness. So we might as well be kind, right? Your next doors are going to open if you practice gratitude. And this is how you'll stay grounded in who you are, in the identity that you are creating right now. And if you've lost something recently, your title, your role, your job, even your business, just know that it's there to set you free. It might have seemed drastic, like your life was over, but it's never over until you say it's over. And this is not you starting from zero. You're starting a fresh chapter. You've got an infinite amount of resources. You don't need to stay stuck if you don't want to stay stuck. Life is beautiful and life is so unserious. It's literally a game. So why not play to freaking win? I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Follow us on Instagram and check out our Etsy store where you can see all the available Gabriella denim artworks and fashion. Ciao! Mwah. Bye.